Hello, I'm Frank Hanaway, and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps. Well, this has been kind of a rough week for me, and some of my closest friends are really having a problem after the election trying to find peace about the whole thing and being very concerned about the direction our country is taking. And it certainly hit me too, but I feel the need to take a certain approach to this issue that might seem counterintuitive. So sometimes we have opponents in life. They may even be our sworn enemies, but we're still obligated to love them. Remember what Jesus said about that? Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use and persecute you. That's the most revolutionary thing I ever heard in my whole life. I'm not sure if it's yet embedded in the consciousness of Christendom. I don't see that happening yet fully. I don't understand how you can be a Christian nation and read that scripture, if that's what you consider your nation to be. If you can read that scripture and then have an army. I don't know how you can do that. But certainly there are times when we have opponents in life that we have to stand up to, who are either threatening people's personal liberties, any number of activities or attitudes that are not loving. Well, the one thing you can be sure of, according to the Buddha, is that if you hate the haters, you won't overcome them. Buddha says in the Dhammapada, hatred can never overcome hatred. Love alone can. This is an unalterable law. That's exactly the scripture. It's so amazing to me. I would like to see some of these guys sit down together at one table, like, Jesus and Buddha. Anyway, Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi had a war on his hands for most of his life. I mean, it was like a Cold War, and sometimes not so cold. And I don't know how familiar you are with how Gandhi behaved, but it was said he was at his best when he was with people who considered themselves to be his enemy. And they would go in to a conference all grim-faced and come out smiling and laughing and talking. I want to be that kind of catalyst for change. So the first thing I'm doing is praying for the guy who got to be president. I would do that anyway, but I'm writing my mantra a lot. That's something we do in Passage Meditation. I just recently learned that it came from the Indian mystic Ram Dass, which is to write your mantra. The mantra it's a name of God that's repeated over and over and over. It is not an affirmation. I don't want to get into the mantra too much about what it is and what it isn't, but it's a name of God generally. Jesus, 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 as in the Jesus prayer. It might be a little longer formula, but it often could be shortened. Rama, Rama, Rama is one. Baruch atah Adonai for people that are Jewish. There are a number of them in the religions of the world. And we write them sometimes, just concentrated writing the name over and over. And I made a commitment yesterday that I'm going to be writing my mantra a lot for Donald Trump. I don't know what his motivations are. He may be a patriot. I don't know. He may see himself as a patriot. I don't know. It's really, none of that's really any of my business. However, when one of my fellow humans does things that cause harm to others, and by others I don't just mean humans, but I mean to the creatures that inhabit this planet, then I have to... Thank you, Sita. Sita, come here and sit down. Then I have to speak out against that. With love, though. Not getting personal about people's hair and Cheetos complexion and so forth. Sita growled at that. And all that kind of stuff should be beneath us. And we shouldn't be attacking the man. We're attacking the ideas. And if you are not fond of a person who responds with anger to criticism, then you shouldn't be that person. This is a tough lesson for me. And I'm sharing it with you. I don't know what you'll be able to do. We all have to do the best we can. But I do know it helps. Jesus said, pray for your enemies. And by golly, I'm going to do it. As hard as it is to do that. In fact, as hard as it is, what I normally do when I write the mantra for somebody, I put their name at the top of a page. And I think in this case, I'm going to dedicate a little manuscript book just to that and work on it as much as I can. In fact, I'm going to go do it right now. It won't be that enjoyable, except it's always kind of nice writing God's name. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so very much for spending time with me today. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you peace and joy, and I hope that your love increases 1,000-fold.